Hey guys, how's it going? I'm just waiting to see and make sure that everything's going right here. Mike, if you could, let me know. Actually, you guys could tell me too, how's the audio? Does the audio sound okay? Can you guys hear me okay? No, you can't. Yeah, you can. Let's see. Can you guys hear me okay? Let me know if you can hear me. Waiting for confirmation here. Just want to make sure you can hear me before we get started. Hi, Sarah. And sounds good. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. Hey, welcome everyone. Well, I kind of just decided, and I've been meaning to do this for a long, long time. I want to, actually did a survey yesterday in the group, and it turns out that many of you prefer YouTube as your social platform. And I've had this lifelong dream of building a more robust YouTube channel. So before we get started here, you can see the little counter in the corner there. Would love to get those numbers up. It turns out that 50% of the people that watch our assembly videos actually don't subscribe. So if you're here, just hit that subscribe button and let's watch that counter go up. Today, what I wanted to talk about is workflow. So you download one of our files and, well, what's next? What tips or what things can you do to make your workflow more efficient? One of the most common things that I hear, or I read, I should say, in the groups on social media, via email, is that, well, I just have a hard time picking out paper. So while I don't have a magic bullet, I do have some things that can help you kind of speed up that process, and we're going to talk about that. Okay, so also, stay with me until the end. This is not going to be a long video. We're also going to give away a Sizzix Texture Boutique. It's an embossing machine. Excuse me. So with that said, let me go over to, I'm going to actually bring up our website first. Where are you, website? There you are. Let me go over to that real quick. Okay, so here's the website. Obviously, most of you probably already know that we've got over 160 now, I don't know the exact number, free SVG files. And we're actually going to work with one of those today. So anyway, yeah, start with a freebie if you're brand new to the site. I'm going to go under my account, and I'm just going to download a quick file here under downloadable products. And I'm going to grab, doesn't matter, I'm just going to grab I'm going to grab a freebie. And just hit download. It's going to put it in my downloads, okay? And the first thing, let me go back to myself here. The first thing that I need you to understand is when you download one of our files, it comes in a zip file, obviously, so you have to unzip it, okay? So let me show you that real quick. I'm on a Mac. The process is a little bit different on a PC, but on a Mac, you double click to unzip it, and now you have the actual folder. Okay, and inside each of our product folders, you're going to find the same items. You're going to find a menu. You're going to find a photo. This is just a photo of the actual product. And then you'll have the folder that contains all the SVG files. Now, I think the menu is severely underrated. Okay, and the reason for that is because, well, I'm not sure that many of you use it, but the menu has the supply list on it. So here, I actually have one in my hand. Many of you actually print these out and you put them in binders. So let's just say that I wanted to make this card that you see on my screen here. Say you want to make that, and you're like, okay, well, I've got the file downloaded. I need to get the paper, okay? So as you can see here, we tell you exactly one sheet of this, one sheet of this, one sheet of this, blah, blah, blah. Now, take a look here. You see here where it says vanilla cardstock, clay cardstock, crimson cardstock, cricket cardstock. Now, those are actually Those are specifically American Crafts colors. Okay, so you can see here, I have a swatch book. Okay, so what I do is I'll print this out, okay, and I can see here that I need, well, I need Cricut, so I find that. I find my Cricut. I'm pretty good with this thing. I'm not the best, but there it is. Let me show you from overhead here. Okay, so you can see, there's my Cricut. There's the Cricut color. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, so there's Cricut. So I'll go down the row here. I'll go down the row and I'll find the bubblegum color. And in this case here, let me go back to this real quick. In this case, not only do we have the Cricut and the bubblegum, we mentioned that you need some clear acetate. That's very self-explanatory. And then there's also a 12 by 12 pattern paper. Now, if you take a look at the photo, you can see that, well, there's your pattern. Now, it's totally up to you what pattern you use. Okay, so you get the main colors figured out by pulling them out on your swatch book here. Let me find bubblegum. Okay, now these are actually, they were hard to come by, but they are available over at 12 by 12 cardstock shop. Okay, and I think Mike is going to post a link to that. So Mike, if you could do that. So these are the two colors that I need. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to my stash of papers. As you can see, I've got paper there. I've got paper there as well. You can't see it, but it's there. And I will find the two colors that I need. And then I'll go into my stash of pattern papers and find something that works with these two colors. So you could literally go through your, go through your pattern papers and find something that maybe even just has these two colors in it or something close to it. Okay. So you've got your 12 by 12 pattern, you've got your Cricut color, you've got your bubblegum color. I've got some acetate. If you don't have acetate, you could actually use that little plastic thing that you cover your mats with. I'm sure you probably have a few of those hanging around. And then of course there's a pom-pom for the flower, ink optional, hot glue optional. Let me go back to this. This actually, what I have on my screen is different than the one I have in front of me here, but you get the idea. Okay, so you go through using your little swatch book, figure out what colors you need. And the cool thing too, I just want to mention this, if you don't have AC cardstock like I do, and you actually need to go out and buy the paper, if you have a swatch book, you can figure out what colors you need, just get them ready to go. When you go to Michael's, Joann's, Hobby Lobby, wherever it may be, you can have this with you. Go over to, they have the open stock where you can actually buy them by the sheet. And even if it's not American Crafts, it might be Basil, it might be Recollections, whatever brand they have, their in-house brand. You can literally put this up to the papers that they have there and find something comparable. You're not always going to find the exact color, but once you start to get a good feeling for how tones work together, you'll do a good job. And I think that's something that you kind of learn over time. And that's maybe an idea for another video. But with that said, yeah, so this is a godsend. You definitely need one of these to make things easier for you. And again, the main reason that I wanted to talk about the PDF file was because it contains a lot of great information. Okay, now also, if you scroll down a little bit, it will actually also show you which element is the color that, is the color of the AC cardstock. So this part of the apple, if we look here, this part right here is crimson. The leaf is Cricut. Okay, and that's probably Cricut too. Let's see. Or is it not? Let me see here. We'll go down. Yeah, this is also Cricut. That's for the envelope. The envelope is a vanilla color. The main part of it is clay. So again, if I just go through this, I will find clay. And that's the great part about Dreaming Tree, is that we pretty much exclusively use the same paper all the time. Okay, so you just got to get used to where all this stuff is. Obviously, we're looking for a brown here, so we need to find the browns. There's a little bit of brown there. Let's find clay. There it is. Okay, so there's clay. All right, anyway, So you've got your solid cardstock, you've got your pattern paper, obviously, you've got your glue, everything is there. And the next thing is obviously to upload the files into Design Space and start cutting. I don't want to go too deep into that. I think I'll leave that for a whole nother video. But in the meantime, let me actually head over to the feed here. I want to see what you guys are saying. We'll take a minute here to read some comments. Let's see. Tracy says she always uses the menu. Perfect. I have the swatches. It really does help. Really hard to find all the papers here in New Zealand. Yeah, I could totally see. That's one thing that really does stink. I feel bad for international people. It seems that the UK, they have their own 24-hour craft channel. Yet I still hear a lot of people there saying that it's really hard to find paper. So I don't get that. You would think that they would, yeah. Let's see. It's finding the pattern paper that I find so difficult. Yeah, so that's another thing too. If there's any tip that I can offer you is one, take your time. The more you do it, the better you'll get at picking out that pattern paper. And even me, to this day, I can't say that every time I pick out a pattern paper, it's a home run. So what I do is I find maybe a couple that I think will work, and I'll find probably like the most prominent part of the project that contains the pattern paper. Say that 10 times fast. And I'll cut it, but I won't glue it down. I'll actually just superimpose it, just pop it on top of the project and take a look at it. And I'll even walk away for a few minutes and come back and take a look at it again. If you're not 100% sure, sometimes, it's one of those things where, you see some art hanging on a wall or something like that, and you're just like, wow, that looks great. It's perfect. It's exactly how it should be. There's nothing that I can find wrong with it. I think over time, when, you're picking out your pattern papers, you'll get to that point too. It's like, yeah, that's spot on. It's perfect. Or no, I don't know. That doesn't look right. But anyway, yeah, so, aside from that, one other thing too that I am going to talk about briefly is, let's see, is just bringing in the files. Now I know a lot of people is thrilled about the fact that our files have to be uploaded individually. And there's a strategic reason we do that. And actually, it's proved to be a wise decision on our part. And it's because we have no control over what Cricut does or Silhouette. Actually, Silhouette and Brother don't really matter as much. I'm not saying that they're not important. I'm just saying that there's other ways around it. Actually, it's more Silhouette. Brother's still potentially a little bit of a problem, but anyway, not that long ago, probably within the last year, maybe year and a half, Cricut released an update to Design Space that really threw a curveball at many of the other SVG sites out there as far as how their all-in-one files came in. It really caused a lot of problems for people because things were not sized properly, things of that nature. So anyway, I right now don't really have any plans to do an all-in-one sort of file that you can upload all in one fell swoop. But I am hoping that, and I was told that bulk upload is supposed to be something that they're going to make available. I could see them dragging their feet and not allowing that, because I could see somebody, opening up their Design Space and taking 4,000 SVG files and trying to upload them all at the same time. I think that could potentially cause a headache, which is probably why they haven't implemented that yet. But I do have a workaround for you. So with that said, I'm going to show you, we're just going to get into a little bit of shortcuts a lot. I know many of you have the software, and maybe you don't even know that this is possible, but I'm going to show you here. Let me see. I'm just going to look at some more comments here. She wants to know how to go about printing pattern paper on my printer. What weight of paper should I print on? Actually, you know what? That's a good question. Let me touch on that real quick, and I'm going to show you a project that I started working on that I didn't post because I ran out of time. Hold on a second. Let me grab this real quick. So this is the Ghastly Manor. It's a Halloween project that we did a while ago. I actually created a base for it with some styrofoam. I'm going to do a whole video on this. I'm just kind of showing you right now, but this paper here, let me go over to the overhead camera. The paper that you see here, I actually printed this, okay? And this is AC cardstock. This is white AC cardstock. Let me move this out of the way. This is white AC cardstock, started as white, and then I actually printed on that. I have behind me, you can actually see it, that's an Epson printer back there, and I just trimmed everything to 8.5 by 11 and ran it through the printer. These patterns, or this paper here that you're actually looking at, this pattern paper, I'll actually make that available probably next September. But anyway, so yeah, you could totally print your own paper. I don't know that it's ever going to be the same quality as something that you buy at the store, because I don't do it that often, but I have done it, and it usually comes out okay. So anyway, back to the Sure Cuts a Lot thing. Let me go in here real quick and just let me show you what you can do if you have Sure Cuts a Lot. Let me open it up real quick here. And bear with me here, guys. Okay. All right, let me go over to this screen here real quick. Okay, so this is Sure Cuts a Lot. And I have it open. Here's the For You Apple card. Great little card for, whoops, I don't want that. Why is it doing that? Okay. I'm going to take this and, hold on a second here. Why is this being weird? There we go. Okay. So here's the SVG folder, and if you don't want to upload these all at once, you can literally just take and select them. I'm holding down the command key to select multiple files, and then I'll literally take and just drag it. Okay, come on. What is it doing? There we go. Usually you should be able to drag them all at the same time. I don't know why this is being weird. Let me see if I can get it to work. There we go. Yeah, you can just drag and drop all of them. So here, let me get rid of all these. We'll start over. I think it just had a little, I just didn't want to cooperate. So I've selected all 4 of the SVG files that are required to create this one, and I'm taking it and just dragging it onto the mat. And I think it is working. It's just being slow. No, it's not. Okay, technical difficulties here. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Okay, so just drag and drop them onto the mat. See, this is what you should be able to do in Design Space. You should be able to just drag and drop it. Okay, so they're all there. And then what you can do, you don't have to move them around, but I can go to File and Export. I'm going to save it to the desktop. I'll call it For You Card, and then hit Save. It's an SVG. That's the SVG that's selected as the format. Save. And then there's a specific button here that says Design Space Compatible. We hit OK. And now we have one SVG with all 4 of these in here. Okay. And now I can go over to my Design Space and hit Upload. And upload the image and browse to my desktop, bring that in and upload, and there we go. And I can just bring it in, add to canvas, and there they are. Okay, so I do believe that it groups it. So I need to right click and ungroup, but now they're all in here instead of having to upload them all at once or all individually, just upload them all together. And again, that was with the use of Sure Cuts a Lot. You see how quick and easy that is. So if you don't already have the Sure Cuts a Lot software, get your hands on it. Actually, I'm planning on doing a sale on it probably within the next few weeks. I've been working on it in the background here, behind the scenes, and it will be available at a special price. So if you're interested in it and want to grab it for a lower price, just hit that subscribe button. There's going to be a video that will be launched on YouTube to inform everybody of that sale. So let me check out the comments here, because that's really all I wanted to go over today. If you came in late, it's okay. The video will still be available afterwards. But I know some of you have been hanging out because you know we're giving away a embossing machine. Let me get it here so I can show you. I don't think it looks like this anymore. Let me see. Maybe it does. Mike, if you can post the link to it so that they can actually click and see. Let me see if I can pull it up on the computer. We stopped giving them away because there were supply chain issues and the prices on them were insane. Oh yeah, here we go. Here, I'll show you. Yeah, so you can see here, it's available on Amazon. It's only a $40 machine, but I love this one because, I'll actually show you. On this last set of cards that we did, we've got this one here. This is our little gardening box card. If you look close, there's like a wood grain texture on this, okay? And when I ran that through, I still have one of these. I don't know if you guys still have these. You guys have one of these? I don't know why Cricut discontinued that, but I don't know. Anyway, when I ran it through my Cuttlebug, it tore the paper up. This pattern, for whatever reason, just completely destroys paper. So even if you have a Cuttlebug or a Big Shot, whatever it may be, this guy actually puts a little bit less pressure onto your embossing. And I've noticed that with this embossing folder, as well as one that we use to create the illusion of like siding on buildings, that has a tendency to really destroy paper. It works great with this embossing machine. So we're going to let this little giveaway run for a couple days, but to enter, just simply type in a hashtag giveaway. So do hashtag giveaway for your chance to win. Oh, there you go. Mike's already on top of it. But anyway, so while you guys are doing that, I'm going to shamelessly promote our latest bundle, which is very popular. These are box cards. If you've never made a box card, you see that they fold flat. Comes with an envelope. Of course, many of you already know. We've got full HD assembly videos available for all of our projects. And Sandy asks, what is Scal? How is it used? Well, Scal is basically a more robust version of Design Space, Brother Canvas. I would say that it's probably on the same level as Silhouette Studio as far as capabilities go. But yeah, so it's essentially just another software that allows you to manipulate and create SVG files. Okay. All right. So I'm not going to extend this too much longer. I just wanted to go about 30 minutes today just to get my feet wet with these whole YouTube videos. Hope you guys are enjoying it. And yeah, don't forget, hashtag giveaway for your chance to win the Sizzix Texture Boutique. It's not this one. It's a different one. Mike has a link for you. And I guess I will take a few more questions. If you guys have a few questions, I got a few minutes. And yeah, thank you guys for joining me. I'm going to try to embrace YouTube a little bit more and try spraying the cardstock with water. That worked for me. Lucy, I have done that before. Yeah. Just to, I've also done that and then it kind of ruined it. So I don't know. But I totally get what you're saying, and that has worked before. Yeah, hashtag giveaway. Leo did great today on the live. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Thank you. And for those of you that don't know, whoops, the new Bodacious box cards, they're currently free with purchase of $9.98 or more. So if you want to grab these, they'll grab a bunch of stuff, grab $10 worth of stuff, and then you can get those free by typing free gift into the coupon field. But that's about it, guys. I'm going to see any more questions here. Let's see. Where is a good place to get the embossing plates for this one? You know what? The embossing plates work. They're pretty much universal. I've never had a problem with embossing folders not working unless, actually, where are they? Hold on. Where are they? I have some here that don't work. Stampin' Up. Stampin' Up, I bought these, and they require a special embossing machine that only works with their stuff, which was very disappointing to me. So I haven't used those yet, but pretty much anywhere. I always see them at Michael's, Joann's, go on Amazon, craft stores online. You can find them anywhere. Just do a search for embossing folders. When you've printed your own pattern paper, did you use textured cardstock? Jenny, yes, I did actually. So the pattern paper that you see on here, on this really cool haunted house that I did, this is all textured American Crafts AC. It's the white. I used white because obviously, you know, when you print, you want a nice white canvas. So that's what I did. I just used, the AC cardstock has a textured side and it has a smooth side. I actually prefer the textured side, and with my inkjet, it prints just fine. So Emily asks, once the big group of SVGs is uploaded into Cricut Design Space, do we still have to attach all the score lines? Yes, you do. And I'll actually just talk about that briefly before I sign off here. So I know that when you buy content directly from Cricut, you're able to just plug and play and go. Unfortunately, for third parties like myself and all the other places that create SVG content for that machine, that is not bought directly through the Design Space store, Design Space has no idea what line does what. It automatically, by default, assumes that it's going to cut everything, and that is just because we have to play by their rules. They're allowing us to put SVG files into their software because SVGs are a universal format. They're playing by the rules of SVGs, and within the world of SVG, there's nowhere to designate that this line is a score line for Cricut Design Space. So that can only be done in the Design Space software. So yes, it's an extra step, but unfortunately, it's something that we can't avoid, and nor can you. But once you get them in there, you can set the score lines however you want and save the project, and then you can bring that back later at a later date if you want to make the same project again without having to go through that same process. And that's a whole nother video in itself. So I've got a lot of content that I'm going to be sharing with you guys. So let's see. Let's see. Per style SVGs, you need to spray water when you emboss. Yeah, I try not to get my paper wet. Agree with texture side. Come on. Okay, thank you for your time today. Yeah, all right, guys. Well, I'm going to sign off. This is going to be somewhat of a regular thing here, so definitely hit that subscribe button and join me for future live streams. Hopefully you found the information today helpful, and as always, I look forward to crafting with you again.
Stay on top of all things Dreaming Tree and engage with us today. Get the latest news and enter in our giveaways on Facebook. Get inspired by following us on Pinterest. Be the first to see our new product launches on Instagram. Do you prefer Twitter? Yep, we're there too. Watch our beautiful product trailers and assembly tutorials on YouTube. For more information, visit www.3dsvg.com. live,